Have you ever thought that something as simple as a piece of fruit could quietly affect your health, especially after turning 60? A juicy pear, a few slices of peach, or a handful of dried fruit might seem harmless. But for older adults, they could be silently disrupting your sleep, spiking your blood sugar, or even throwing off your heart rhythm. As someone who has spent more than 30 years researching aging and senior health, I used to believe fruit was always a safe choice. But the more I've studied the aging body, the more I've realized this. What's good for younger adults isn't always good for older ones. Fruit, often seen as the symbol of health, can actually turn into a double-edged sword if not chosen or consumed carefully. You see, after 60, the body changes in ways that many people overlook. Digestion slows down and becomes more sensitive. Blood sugar levels are harder to regulate. Metabolism isn't what it used to be. And vital organs like the liver, kidneys, and heart may not work as efficiently. These changes mean that certain fruits, while perfectly fine for most people, can quietly pose risks to seniors. At the same time, other fruits can be powerful allies, supporting memory, protecting the heart, improving digestion, and helping us feel stronger and sharper. Before we get into the list of fruits to avoid and the ones to enjoy regularly, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Let us know in the comments. It's always a pleasure to hear from different corners of the country and beyond. And if you're interested in simple, reliable health tips to help you age well, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Healthy Senior Now, so you never miss a helpful update. Ready? Let's jump right in. Let's begin with 4 fruits that may look harmless on the outside, even healthy, but can quietly cause problems for older adults if we're not careful. 1. Grapefruit, the silent saboteur for seniors on medications. For most of our lives, we've been told to eat more fruit, and grapefruit, it's often praised as a breakfast favorite, bright, tangy, and seemingly healthy. But here's something most doctors don't say out loud. For older adults on medication, grapefruit can quietly become dangerous. The issue comes down to how our bodies process drugs. Grapefruit contains natural compounds that block an enzyme in the liver called CYP3A4. This enzyme normally helps break down medications in your system. But when it's blocked, those drugs don't leave your body as they should. They build up in your bloodstream, turning a normal dose into a toxic one. Let me tell you about someone I know. A good friend of mine, Carolyn Mitchell, is 68 and lives just outside Tampa, Florida. She's energetic, active, and always believed in staying healthy the natural way. Every morning, she took her cholesterol medication with a glass of fresh squeezed grapefruit juice, thinking she was doing something good for her heart. But over time, she began experiencing muscle pain and extreme fatigue. She brushed it off as just getting older until the symptoms became unbearable. After a trip to the ER, doctors discovered that her statin levels were dangerously high, causing muscle breakdown and putting her kidneys at risk. The culprit? That harmless-looking grapefruit juice. Here's why this matters more than most people realize. Carolyn's case isn't rare. Grapefruit can affect over 85 medications, including some of the most commonly prescribed to older adults. Statins for cholesterol, blood thinners to prevent clots, heart rhythm stabilizers, anti-anxiety medications, certain blood pressure Dr. Fivens, and it doesn't take much. Just half a grapefruit or a single glass of juice can impact how your body handles medicine. Even worse, that effect can linger for up to 3 days, so eating grapefruit every now and then still carries risk. What I often tell my patients: if you're over 60 and take daily medications, especially for the heart or blood pressure, you need to think twice before reaching for grapefruit. It's not about fear, it's about understanding how your body changes with age. What worked for you in your 40s or 50s may now quietly be working against you. 2. Pears, not always as gentle as they seem. Pears have a soft, wholesome reputation. They're juicy, sweet, and often thought of as the perfect fruit for older adults. But the truth is, not all pears and not all bodies get along so well. Let's start with fiber. Pears are rich in insoluble fiber, especially in the skin. While fiber is generally a good thing, too much insoluble fiber can overwhelm an aging digestive system. For seniors dealing with slower digestion, this can lead to bloating, cramping, or even diarrhea, especially if they're eating large portions or pairing pears with other high-fiber foods. It's not just about digestion, it's also about chewing. Now, here's something most people don't think about. Texture matters. Many varieties of pears, especially when not fully ripe, can be firm or even gritty. For those with dentures, missing teeth, or jaw discomfort, chewing raw pear slices can be a challenge. I've had patients tell me they gave up on pears after one bite left their gums sore or their dentures slipping. But the sugar content? That's where it gets even trickier. Not all pears are created equal, especially when it comes to sugar. Take the Bartlett or red Anjou pear, for example. These types are incredibly sweet and have a higher glycemic index compared to other fruits. That means they can raise blood sugar levels more quickly, not ideal for those managing diabetes or insulin sensitivity. It's easy to underestimate how much sugar is in one ripe, juicy pear when it tastes so natural. Here's how to enjoy pears the right way if you still want to. I often suggest a few practical tips for seniors who love pears but want to avoid the discomfort or sugar spike. Lightly steam or poach the pear to soften the flesh and make it easier to chew. Peel the skin if you have digestive issues, since that's where most of the insoluble fiber is. Slice it thin and eat it slowly rather than biting into a whole fruit. Avoid eating pears right after a heavy meal, especially one rich in fats and proteins. This combination can overload digestion and lead to gas or bloating. Pears aren't bad, but they're also not the universal superfruit we assume them to be. Just like with people, how they show up in your life depends on timing, context, and how well you understand their nature. Next, let's take a closer look at a fruit that tastes like summer sweet, juicy, and soft yet holds a few concerns older adults might want to think twice about before enjoying. 3. Peaches. Just saying the word makes you think of summer days, soft fruit, and that sweet juice running down your hand. It feels innocent, even nostalgic. But if you're over 60, and especially if you're managing health issues, there's more to this fruit than meets the eye. Let's say you're living with diabetes, and peaches are one of your favorite fruits. Then here's something you'll want to hear. A medium peach may seem light and healthy, but it still carries around 13 grams of sugar. Now that's natural sugar. Sure, but for someone whose body doesn't handle sugar as smoothly as it once did, that sweet little fruit can cause a surprising blood sugar spike. And if you're having more than one, or mixing it with other carbs, that's when it can quietly become a problem. And it's not just the sugar. If you're grabbing canned peaches in syrup, that's a different story altogether. That sticky liquid isn't just juice, it's loaded with added sugar and preservatives. What might feel like a healthy dessert could actually be pushing your insulin and inflammation in the wrong direction. Now, maybe your digestion's been more sensitive lately. Bloating, a little gas after meals, that sluggish post-lunch feeling. You might not realize this, but peaches are high in FODMAPs, fermentable carbs, that don't sit well in a slower digestive system. So that innocent-looking peach? It can start to ferment in your gut, leaving you feeling heavy, gassy, or just plain uncomfortable. And if you're already dealing with inflammatory gut issues or autoimmune concerns, that effect only multiplies. It's not that peaches are bad, they're just not always the easiest companion for an aging belly. But hey, that doesn't mean you have to quit peaches forever. If you still want to enjoy them, just think about how and when you're eating them. Try going with fresh, ripe peaches instead of canned. Keep your portion on the small side half of peaches often enough, and pairing it with something like a spoonful of Greek yogurt or a few almonds. That can help slow down how your body absorbs the sugar. Oh, and here's a little trick: don't eat peaches on an empty stomach, especially if you're prone to bloating or reflux. That soft fruit can hit your gut harder than you think. So yes, peaches are sweet, soft, and full of charm. But if your digestion, blood sugar, or inflammation have become more unpredictable with age, it's worth listening to what your body's telling you. Sometimes the fruits we love just need a little more thought and a little less habit. Let's take a moment to talk about something that hides in plain sight. 4. Dried fruits. They look harmless, even healthy. But for seniors, they can quietly do more harm than good. At first glance, dried fruit seems like a smart snack. It's fruit, right? So what could possibly be the problem? Well, the trouble begins during the drying process. When fruit is dried, the water gets removed but the sugar stays behind. And without that natural water content, all that sugar becomes highly concentrated. To put it into perspective, 100 grams of fresh grapes contain about 17 grams of sugar. That's manageable. But 100 grams of raisins? You're looking at roughly 65 grams of sugar, almost 4 times as much. That's a huge sugar hit in a much smaller package. And it's not just about the natural sugar. Many store-bought dried fruits are coated with added sugar or treated with preservatives like sulfites to extend shelf life and keep their color bright. Sounds helpful, but for many older adults, sulfites can trigger headaches, worsen asthma, or irritate the gut. So what does that mean for your body? If you're dealing with blood sugar concerns like type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance, dried fruits can cause unexpected spikes. These sudden sugar rushes don't just affect your energy levels. Over time, they add stress to your heart, your kidneys, and your metabolism. And digestion? That's another area where dried fruits can be sneaky. They're low in water, and if you're not drinking enough fluids with them, they can actually lead to constipation, not prevent it. Some dried fruits, especially those high in oxalates like dried apricots or figs, may even contribute to kidney stone formation if consumed in excess. Does that mean you have to give them up completely? Not necessarily. But portion control matters more than ever. A small sprinkle of unsweetened dried cranberries in a salad? Fine. A full handful of sweetened dried mangoes straight from the bag? Probably not your best move. If you really love dried fruit, look for options that are unsweetened, sulfite-free, and organic when possible. And stick to small portions, preferably alongside a meal that contains protein or healthy fat, which can help blunt the sugar impact. Alright, now that we've talked about the fruits to be cautious with, let's shift gears. It's time to focus on the good guys, the fruits that can truly support your body as it ages. These aren't just safe, they're powerful, and we're starting with one tiny berry that packs a serious punch. 1. Let's talk about blueberries. They may be small, but don't let that fool you. These little blue gems are among the most nutrient-dense fruits on the planet, especially when it comes to protecting the brain. Blueberries are loaded with anthocyanins, a type of antioxidant that gives them their deep blue color. But they do more than look pretty. They fight off the oxidative stress and inflammation that can damage brain cells over time. That's key for aging adults, because oxidative stress is a major factor in cognitive decline. Several studies have shown that regular blueberry consumption is linked to improved memory, sharper focus, and slower mental aging. For seniors who worry about forgetfulness or brain fog, this fruit offers a little extra hope and a lot of protection. And here's the part that surprises most people. Blueberries are naturally low in sugar. That makes them a smart choice, not just for your brain, but also for your blood sugar. They won't spike your glucose levels like many other fruits might, which is great news for anyone living with diabetes or prediabetes. So how should you enjoy them? The sweet spot is about half a cup per day. And yes, that's enough to make a difference. You can eat them fresh and raw, which is ideal. Or toss them into Greek yogurt, steel-cut oats, or a morning smoothie. They also pair beautifully with whole grains, like quinoa or oatmeal, adding natural flavor without the need for added sugar. If fresh blueberries are out of season or too pricey, frozen blueberries are a fantastic alternative. Just make sure they're unsweetened and not mixed with syrup or sugar. Bottom line, if you're looking for a simple, no-fuss way to keep your brain sharp and your body strong, blueberries might be the easiest daily upgrade you can make. Let's talk about a fruit that doesn't need a fancy label to prove how powerful it is. 2. The good old apple. We've all heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and honestly, it holds up better than most health slogans. Especially as we get older, apples can quietly support some of the most critical areas of senior health: the heart, the gut, and the joints. First off, apples are one of the best natural sources of pectin, a type of soluble fiber that works like a sponge inside your digestive system. It binds to LDL cholesterol, Bad chitin helps flush it out of your body before it ever makes it into your bloodstream. That's not just good news, it's essential for protecting heart health without relying solely on medication. And don't underestimate the skin of the apple. That's where many of the real health boosters lie, especially flavonoids like quercetin, which have been linked to reduced inflammation, joint protection, and even a lower risk of certain cancers. For older adults who deal with stiffness, arthritis, or inflammation, this is nature's low-key anti-inflammatory in snack form. But the benefits go even deeper. As we age, digestive health becomes more important and often more frustrating. Many older adults struggle with constipation, irregularity, or sluggish digestion. Apples, thanks to both their soluble and insoluble fiber, gently stimulate the gut and keep things moving. And because they're naturally low in calories and sugar, they won't spike your blood sugar or leave you feeling sluggish after. Now, a quick tip: eat the whole apple, skin and all. That's where the good stuff lives. If pesticides are a concern, just wash them well, or choose organic apples when you can. The crunch of a fresh apple delivers fiber, hydration, antioxidants, and that satisfying bite all in one. So, when should you eat them? Apples are perfect in the morning, or right before physical activity. They give you just the right kind of natural energy. Steady, not jittery. Slice one up and dip it in almond butter, toss it into oatmeal, or eat it straight. No prep, no fuss, just a habit that quietly supports your well-being. Let's shift to a fruit that doesn't look or taste like most fruits. 3. The avocado. Creamy, rich, and subtle in flavor. It's one of the most powerful foods you can add to your diet as you age, especially if you care about heart health, strong bones, and sharp vision. Avocados are packed with monounsaturated fats, the kind of heart-healthy fats that help lower LDL cholesterol while increasing HDL, the good cholesterol. For seniors concerned about heart disease, these healthy fats can be a game changer. Unlike saturated fats found in processed snacks or fatty meats, the fat in avocado supports circulation without clogging your arteries. But the heart isn't the only organ that benefits. Vitamin K, found abundantly in avocados, plays a crucial role in bone health. It helps your body use calcium effectively, which is essential for maintaining bone density and preventing fractures, something that becomes increasingly important with age. Avocados also contain lutein, an antioxidant that supports eye health. Lutein helps protect against macular degeneration, a leading cause of vision loss in older adults. It also plays a role in brain function, working as an anti-inflammatory agent that protects nerve cells. So in a way, avocados nourish both your sight and your mind. And let's not forget digestion. Thanks to their fiber content, avocados can help keep your gut regular and support a healthy microbiome. Plus, they're naturally low in sugar and won't spike your blood glucose, making them an excellent choice for seniors managing diabetes or prediabetes. So how much should you eat? The sweet spot is about 1/4 to 1/2 of an avocado per day. That's enough to give you the full benefits without overdoing the calories. Not sure how to enjoy it? Keep it simple. Mash it on whole grain toast, add a pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of lemon, or slice it up with hard-boiled eggs, roasted veggies, or leafy greens. You don't need fancy recipes, just real, whole food in the right portion. If there's one fruit that truly feels indulgent but works overtime for your health, it's the avocado. Rich in texture, rich in nutrients, and perfect for a heart-conscious, bone-strong, brain-loving lifestyle. Let's wrap up this list with a fruit that's often overlooked, but truly deserves a spot on every senior's plate. 4. Papaya. With its soft texture and naturally sweet flavor, papaya isn't just easy to eat, it's easy on your body too. What makes papaya so special? One word: papain. This natural enzyme helps break down proteins in your food, making digestion smoother and more efficient, especially helpful for older adults whose digestive systems may not be working quite as quickly as they once did. If you've ever felt heavy or uncomfortable after a protein-rich meal, a few slices of ripe papaya can offer gentle relief. But digestion isn't where the benefits end. Papaya is also a nutritional powerhouse, rich in vitamins A, C, and E, a trio known for boosting immune health, supporting skin elasticity, and reducing inflammation throughout the body. That's especially important for older adults managing arthritis or other inflammatory conditions. The anti-inflammatory properties of papaya can help ease joint pain, while also defending the body from oxidative stress that contributes to aging. Another quiet superpower? Papaya helps soften stool and ease constipation, thanks to its high water content and natural fiber. If you're someone who struggles with irregularity, especially while taking medications that slow down digestion, this fruit can be a natural, non-irritating solution. Now, when it comes to choosing your papaya, ripe is right. Ripe papaya is easier to digest and gentler on the stomach than green or unripe versions. You'll know it's ready when the skin turns yellow-orange and gives slightly to the touch. Avoid eating it on an empty stomach or right after a heavy meal that can sometimes lead to bloating or discomfort. Instead, try having it in the morning, as part of breakfast, or as a midday snack. You can enjoy papaya on its own, tossed into yogurt, or even blended into a smoothie with a little lime and ginger. Its tropical taste is refreshing, and its benefits go far beyond flavor. So if you're looking for a fruit that truly nourishes from the inside out, papaya is a gentle, healing choice for digestion, immunity, and joint comfort all in one slice. When it comes to nutrition after 60, the rules aren't complicated, but they do matter more than ever. The goal isn't to eat less, but to eat smarter. And for fruit, that means making a few key choices every day. First, always choose fresh, naturally ripened fruit over anything processed. Canned fruit in syrup or boxed juices might seem convenient, but they're often loaded with added sugars or preservatives that your body simply doesn't need. Whole, fresh fruit, preferably seasonalis, always the better option. Second, treat fruit like part of a balanced meal, not an afterthought. Don't eat it on the run. Sit down, chew slowly, and be present while eating. This helps your digestive system do its job more effectively, and also makes you more aware of how full you actually are. Third, stay away from dried fruits and shelf-stable fruit juices. These products may look healthy, but they tend to concentrate sugar in a way that can lead to blood sugar spikes or even digestive discomfort. Finally, don't forget the basics. Drink plenty of water and take a light walk after meals. Even just 10 minutes of gentle movement after eating can help improve digestion and support blood sugar control. These small habits, done consistently, can make a big difference in how you feel each day. By the time we reach our 60s, every bite matters more than we think. Gone are the days when we could eat anything without a second thought. Today, what we put on our plate is either helping us stay active, independent, and clear-minded, or slowly working against us. We're not just eating to stay full anymore, we're eating to stay strong, sharp, and in control of our own lives. Too often I hear, "But I've been eating bananas all my life." Yes, but your body now is not the same as it was 30 years ago. Aging isn't a disease, but making the wrong food choices as we age, that can lead to disease, pain, and loss of freedom. That's why making mindful food decisions, even with something as everyday as fruit, is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to care for yourself. When you choose the right fruits, you sleep better, your joints hurt less, your digestion improves, your memory stays sharper, and your outlook on life gets a boost. These aren't promises, they're real changes I've seen in my patients, and even in myself. So, here's my challenge to you. Start with just one small step. Choose the right fruit. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Because at this stage in life, it's not just about adding years. It's about adding life to every year. Before you go, leave a comment and share. What's one thing you learned today that surprised you, or that you'll start applying in your daily routine? Let's support each other on this journey of healthy aging. And don't forget, hit subscribe to Healthy Senior now and join a growing community of people who are aging with purpose, wisdom, and strength.